Hello and welcome, one and all. Can you smell in the air? We are at a new season of Kamen Rider. Yes, it is September. Fall. It will hopefully be here soon to save us from this unbearable heat. And so comes a new season of Kamen Rider, as does happen every September until Toei runs out of money or the series becomes less profitable, which hopefully is not anytime soon. Anyway, we are at our newest season, Kamen Rider Geats. Now, this season, like basically every season, has been hyped because the Rider fan base is predictable as fuck. In all honesty, let's be for real here. We are very predictable when it comes to this series. But yeah, this series has been hyped, and it is now the series to replace Revice in the Saturday / I guess it's Sunday morning time slot. Time zones are weird. Anyway, this series is very clearly based off Battle Royale video games, which have been very popular for the past few years, such as Fortnite and, well, I guess Fortnite's the only one that really stuck around. I know, what's that one called? I can't remember it, but I know Fortnite's the one that's super in, and also Apex Legends. Yeah, this is those are actually from developers from Toei themselves said to be part of the inspiration for the series, and a friend of mine also said Squid Game, possibly because of stuff we see in this episode. But let's get into our episode. So we are on, obviously, episode 1, Daybreak F, Invitation to the Rider. So, this episode does not actually start at the beginning. It starts at the end, specifically at the end of the Desire Grand Prix, or DGP. Specifically speaking, we are down to the final 3 members of that group. Kamen Riders, for those who don't know what the DGP is, it is a competition between various Kamen Riders set to change the world, essentially. There's probably a lot more to it, but that's just what we know of it going into it. And our 3 riders are obviously Kamen Rider Geats, Ace Yukio, I cannot pronounce his name at all, Kamen Rider Buffa, whose name I'm not even going to predict, whose family name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, or that's his first name, dear God. Anyway, I'm just going to call him Azuma, and then Kamen Rider Shiroi, whose name will not be important because we'll know why later. Anyway, these 2 are the final 3 out of a number of riders. Someone counted 38, so there are apparently 38 people in this competition, and now we're down to 3. Most likely, they're all dead, especially from what we see in this episode. So we're down to the final 3 riders in this competition to determine who will get to reshape the world, before we cut to a random job-hunting student in a scene that hits a little too close to home at times with Keiwa Sakurai. He's trying to get a job, and he's generally a down-to-earth, pretty decent guy trying to set his future and all that kind of stuff. And when they ask him what his big motivation is, he states world peace, before they tell him that that's too broad and vague of a concept, and he's rejected from the job. Because world peace is, again, too broad and vague of a concept, and I guess the guy thinking big isn't a cool feature for a position. Anyway, his older sister treats him off to Soba to help him get his spirits back up, and then she is basically distracted by a live stream of her favorite YouTuber, or whatever it's called in this universe, Neon Kurama. Neon. Her name is literally Neon. What the I thought that was just a VTube thing, or that was just like her YouTube name, but no, her name is actually Neon. At least that's what it is in the press release stuff. Yeah. So, Neon is a rich girl who basically wants to break away from her family, but is constantly pulled back in, and there may be hints that there's some reason behind that, but it's only a hint in this episode, and I'm not going to speculate stuff for now, at least that much speculation. Anyway, she immediately says she's homeless, and as 2 of her fans come up to get autographs, she's accosted by her guards and drag her back home. As soon as that happens, we then cut back to the virtual space where the contestants are waiting, where they're alerted to the I guess, staff or announcer, Surumi alerts the group to a Jamura area. So the Jamura, I don't know if I'm actually pronouncing that right. I haven't actually heard it in shows. It's just spelled like Jammer. Huh. That's neat if it's actually pronounced Jammer. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, the Jammers have appeared. The Jammers are... I have no goddamn idea. They might be aliens for all I know. It's been a while since we've had freaking aliens in Kamen Rider. Not since Build, in all honesty. Anyway, they're these kind of weird things that basically close off an entire area. Kind of like... I'm going to make a lot of reboot jokes because obvious reasons. Kind of like the GameCube in a reboot. Anyway, yeah, so our characters that we've been introduced to are alongside the game area, and the riders go in to take care of the Jammers. The Jammer mooks are interesting. I'll just leave it at that for now. They look interesting. Anyway, Keiwa meets with Neon as they flee to chaos, but as they're accosted by another group of attackers, they're saved by Kamen Rider Shiroi and Kamen Rider Buffa. And, well, they led to a rooftop where they basically explain the world's going to be ending soon, and there's not much that can be done to save them. Yeah, basically, they're fighting for who gets to control the world after it's been rebooted, essentially. And Shiroi and Buffa are the two competitors going right now, while Gates is sitting in the background holding his secret weapon, the Boost. I forget what the things are called in this season, but he's holding on to the gimmick for the season, the Boost one specifically, calling it his secret weapon. It's the Boost Rise Buckle, so they're called buckles officially. So he's holding on to the Boost Buckle and flips a gold coin to determine what he does next before he decides to head out. The group are attacked yet again, this time by a boss Jamura, or Jamato. There's a T, anyway, they're attacked by a boss Jamato, a giant flying fortress called Shiro Jamato, at least according to the current information. I don't know why it's called Shiro Jamato, maybe because it literally kills Shiroi. Yeah, he dies. Episode 1, first death. That was pretty fucking fast. He dies in a single hit to the boss monster, and Keiwa and Neon are left on their own before Ace flies in on his motorcycle that's summoned by the Boost Rise Buckle and saves Neon. And then there's a bit of funny shipping jokes where Ace basically spells out what's going on, as well as the fact that he plans to change the world by winning this competition. He then transforms into Kamen Rider Geats' Magnum form and proceeds to clean house with the various mooks. After that, he attacks the boss in Boost form, and is a pretty cool standout show-off. After he finally beats the boss, everything resets. He's declared the winner as he has the most points, and him and Buff are the only two standing. So everything resets, and Keiwa wakes up believing it was all just a dream. And he decides to go get Soba that same day, no word on job situation, before he is met by Surumi. Surumi basically hands him a box and tells him that he's been invited to be a Kamen Rider in the next DGP. And also is showing up to a bunch of other people, assumably at the same time, to invite them to become Kamen Riders for the new DGP, as Ace watches this all from the high rise, welcoming them all to his new world. So, that was interesting. So, in all honesty, Kamen Rider has a really good track record with first episodes. In all honesty, I can't really think of, outside of a few outliers, first episodes of a series have been really bad. Like, some have been rather let down, but they also do a good job of having the threat be known, showing off the main rider, and letting the main rider be cool for 10 minutes. In this case, yeah, they do a really good job of doing that. So, we get to see a showcasing of Kamen Rider Geats, the whole gimmick with the rise buckles, the two sides of it thing, and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool showcase, as well as showing off the main two forms of Geats, the Magnum and Boost forms, as well as Magnum Boost and then Boost Magnum. We only saw Boost Magnum for like 5 seconds before he switched to Magnum Boost. And That is a really Toei accurate form switching mechanic. That's all I'll say on that. If you know, you know. Anyway, so Boost Magnum is a really cool form. Magnum Boost is a really cool form. Geats is a really cool rider. I also like the fact he's an arrogant asshole. Dude shows up, kind of flirts with Neon, kind of flirts with Kayla in a way people are already shipping. It's been one episode, people calm down. And it's really cool. Also, like the fact that focus a lot on Kayla here. Kayla is definitely being set up to be the secondary rider. Although, again, Battle Royale series, so he might die. He's giving me very strong Kabuto references. I forget his actual name from Kabuto, but the rider who became Gattack. He's giving me very strong Gattack vibes right now, and I'm kind of liking that. I really like Gattack. He's a really cool rider, and the storyline throughout the series of Kabuto is really cool, even if I cannot remember his fucking name right now. Anyway, yeah, I like Kayla. Kayla's a pretty cool focus point character, and while we don't know a lot about Ace is like a pretty cool main character. I kind of want to see, obviously we're going to see more from as the series goes on, but I honestly want this to feel more like Kabuto. Like, I know Kabuto has his attractors. I ultimately came away from Kabuto liking it for the most part, liking the various stories it told and his characters for the most part. And part of the reason I like it is the fact that his main rider is such an arrogant prick, and Ace has the potential to be an arrogant prick, and I kind of want that. He kind of dresses like one when we see him outside of the standard, the standard participant clothes. He kind of dresses like an arrogant prick with the whole giant scarf suit thing. It's kind of funny if you ask me. Anyway, as well as he's flipping an ancient Roman coin that someone did the math on. Apparently that shit's worth a lot of money. I mean, that's obviously a prop coin, but a real one will be worth a lot of money. And that's also kind of hilarious. Again, he's giving off strong Kabuto vibes, and I kind of love that. It'd be funny if he gets a form that lets him do the whole clock up thing, like slow down time and do super speed shit. Anyway, that's just speculation. So, as for introduction, this is really good. I don't think we're going to be getting a lot of the actual plot until episode 2 starts up, and then from there we'll be getting it. Because again, this is the finale of the DGP, or at least what we can assume to be the first DGP. This next episode will start the second DGP, again, as far as I know, the second DGP. And then we'll be going the actual plot from there. This is actually seeming to be more of a showcase for the enemies, the rider, the forms, all that kind of stuff, and getting that introduction out of the way so that we can get into that stuff in the actual main plot. I'm gonna doubt that. It's honestly been quite a while since we've had a writer start off the series as a Kamen Rider and not need to be introduced to a new form and threat as the audience is introduced to it. I think the last time was actually Build, because Build had been a writer for I don't know if they ever set the time frame, but I'm assuming a few months had passed since Sento was actually Kamen Rider Build in his own show, which I know there's not a lot of series in hindsight, because Build was the second to last Heisei era series before we went to Reiwa series, and we've only had 3 of those. But it feels like it's been a while. Like in terms of time, it's been a while, but when you look at a numbers graph, it really isn't. And yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like this new take so far. I'm looking forward to Gates. I hope Ace is an arrogant prick. Kayla's being set up pretty well as a secondary. If he is an actual secondary, he might be blown off later in the series for someone else. We're also given to shown that this is a massive threat with Shiro. He's deaf, and we have a number of different writers coming in. So someone's gonna die. I don't know who. I'm not placing any bets yet because we've just been introduced these characters. I hope not Neon, because we just went through one series with the almost perfect female writer. And you didn't kill her off, Toei. Please don't fuck up after one season, Toei. Who am I kidding? It's Toei. Of course they'll fuck up and kill off Neon. I'm not saying that they will. They might, because they're fucking Toei. But I would like them to not do that. are pushed to the background due to the Valkyrie situation. Please, can we just have one Toei, please? Oh, also, Buffa is cool as shit, and is been set up as an obvious antagonist because he's kind of miffed he lost the last DGP. I also wonder, is the DGP a fatal thing? Like, I know getting your entry core smash kills you because you lose, but it's the only way, but do you die when you lose? They haven't established that yet. Although, the end title card, which reminds me of Death Note, because Death Note had that same thing with the end title cards of explaining the rules to the Death Note. In this case, it's explaining the DGP rules, and since there's no exit for the DGP. And that's honestly really cool. And I'm also introduced to this masked fucker who, what's his actual name? I'm checking that now. They don't say his name in the show, so I'm referring to no, we don't know his name. We do know the concierge for, I guess, the waiting room area for the DGP. His name is given. Also, the fact that Ace lost the Boost Rise buckle, which is interesting. Okay, I don't know his actual name, but we're just gonna leave that as that. But this masked dude, who people are betting is Dan Kuroto, just because it seems like a Dan Kuroto thing to do. I'm gonna be honest, Toei, if Dan Kuroto shows up in this season as a special or something, that'll probably be the most fitting crossover of all time. Like, I know we did one of X8 and 01. Now we need to do one of X8 and Gates, because this is just way too perfect of a crossover. Speaking of, again, Dan Kuroto should show up in this season. I kind of hope we get some kind of allusions to past X8 stuff. Because, again, I want some V-Cinemas about X8 and Gates stuff. Because, again, written by the same dude. And this is way too similar. Because, again, they're both video game focused seasons. And, again, this was basically Dan Kuroto's plan when he set up X8's events. This is the end result. And it would be really cool if we actually did see Dan Kuroto in the special. Okay, that's enough of that. First episode of Gates, really good, really enjoyable. I hope the rest of the season continues to be good. Like, Revice had a really pretty good start, really good middle part, dropped off towards the end, and I hope that we don't have that, because that's been the past few series, in all honesty. Are really good openers, and then the ending is kind of muddled. But, yeah. It's kind of ironic, considering the fact that they said that 01 would showcase the ending of how Railroad endings would be different from Heisei endings. And I guess they're accurate in that part. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, so with that said, I'll see all of you guys next time. Hopefully, it's episode 2, if I have the energy to record then, because I'm doing this pretty late.